Hello again my friends, this is the boy and his dog, and welcome to the channel where I play, rank and review every game released on the Evercade, old and new. In today's episode we continue with our ranking of the entire console cart range with the ranking of 20 to 11. Yes, we finally reached the top 20, so everything going forward is great, although of course some are greater than others. But I don't think you can go wrong with a single cart going forward, unless it's a collection of styles or games you really are opposed to. As always, remember, this is just my opinion, and my opinion can sometimes appear odd. Also, as we get down to the final few, remember sometimes nostalgia bias twats us with a huge cartoon comical hammer, and there's nothing we can do but smile and nod enthusiastically, maybe with a bit of dribble. So with all that out of the way, we better get stuck right in. And in 20th place is the very first numbered Evercade console cart, Atari Collection 1. There are a whopping 20 titles on this collection, and yes, there are many what we would now class as fillers, but that still doesn't take away from the remaining gold within, and it's why it just had to be in my top 20. We have my favourite version of Asteroids, yes, this is the one, I fucking adore it. There's something to be said about the look of Atari 2600 games because of the way they are created, the basic blocks of colour, it's made them somehow age really well. I think they generally look beautiful on my big 4K telly, so vibrant. Of course this only works because they play so smoothly too. The 2600 version of Centipede is also still playable as all hell, and my love for Adventure will never end. Though not the actual first, that honour goes to Dig Dug. Adventure was one of the first games I ever played on the first console I ever had, the Atari 2600. I wasn't deep at the time, so it will always hold a special place in my heart. And in 19th place is the 31st Evercade console cart, Sunsoft Collection 1. Now there are 6 games in this collection, and there are a fair few absolute crackers. I've been really enjoying Aero the Acrobat. I had it back in the day on my Super Nintendo for a while, and remember getting quite far. Don't remember being this bloody hard though. Master Blaster is also great, especially that you can jump out your tank and enter areas, turning the game into a semi-Dino Blaster style game. And then there's the lovely Game Boy semi-sequel Master Blaster Jr. I love Game Boy games. And not forgetting the gorgeous but feckin' evil Mr. Gimmick. But it's still a cart I feel I probably won't go back to in the future as often as others in today's and the final list. But I will add this is a lovely collection for the Super Pocket. A lot of these games just fit and feel right on that device. And in 18th place is the 23rd Evercade console car Renovation Collection 1. With a nice solid 12 games on the car and a nice variety in the set, this is indeed a chunky edible collection. Now I know many would place this much higher, and I also appreciate many of these games are quite pricey to buy individually in their original state. And there is a lot to love here, with a handful of decent shoot-ups for Soldius, Garius, I can never pronounce these names, Final Zone and Granada. And a decent amount of scrolling platforming games like El Viento, Valis and Valis 3. And some RPG style adventures with Tricea, Exile and more arcadey Arcus Odyssey. And a dinosaur inspired multi-table pinball game with bosses, Dino Land. This collection also has the dubious pleasure of housing probably, arguably, definitively, maybe, the worst game in the entire Evercade library, Beast Wrestler. Do you agree? I don't know. But as it is with many of the carts now, it's just down to which ones I go back to more. And I will admit, I haven't returned to this cart as much as I thought I would. And in 17th place is the 8th Evercade console car Mega Cat Studios 1. There are 10 games in the collection, and on the most part they're simply okay for me. Multi-Dude is a competent and interesting puzzle platformer. Super Painter may be a bit slippery than it needs to be, but otherwise can be quite fun. So why do I hold this collection so high? Because there are 2 games on here that are absolutely worthy buying the cart for them 2 alone. Old Tales with its cute graphics, fast puzzle gameplay and amazing soundtrack, which you will hear in a moment, and Tanzer for mixing a ridiculously hard scrolling platform shoot 'em up with raving edible gorgeousness. I repeat, it's worth getting the cart for these 2 games alone. Anything else is a bonus. In 16th place is the 22nd Evercade console cart, the Bitman Brothers Collection 1. Yes, there are only 5 games in this collection. One of those is Speedball 2 Brutal Deluxe, and the other is the goddamn sexy bastard, the Chaos Engine. Oh my god. Alongside these 2 awesome offerings, we have Speedball and Speedball 2100, rounding the collection out with Xenon 2 Mega Blast. And yes, I know these aren't the best versions of some of these titles. The home computer line didn't exist when this appeared, so maybe there is always a chance that we're getting an Amiga edition down the line. I would be happy we've got Speedball 2 and Chaos Engine for the Amiga. With the added delight of Magic Pockets and Gods or some such, we can always dream. Speedball 2100 was a bit of a surprise, I must say. It looks lovely on the Evercade and Super Pocket and is actually a lot of fun. If you're not into Speedball, this cart could be a big turn off, but don't sleep on the unending edibleness of the Chaos Engine. She is a bloody beaut. And in 15th place is the 36th Evercade console car and the 4th dual cartridge, Demons of Asterborg and Aster Bros. Although being a dual cart with only 2 games in this collection, this is still very much worthy of your time. Demons is a lovely looking platform adventure game that has me reminiscing Castlevania and Ghouls and Ghosts aesthetically. It has some wonderful touches throughout and the game feels tight enough that there always seems to be forward momentum. I never felt lost at what to do next or where to go. And in Aster Bros we have a grindy enough roguelike game that thankfully offers new things up often enough to not get stale. With a sizable map including dungeons that need to be explored multiple times to find and defeat more than one boss, which I didn't realise for a while. And because of the nature of the beast, returning to dungeons can bring up whole new rooms even after a few passes. That include anything from ringing a bell to call out an Uber boss, special treasure chests that give you a buff for that dungeon pass, or a prisoner you can take back to camp. You may open up a shop or other helpful service you can frequent between missions. This is a chugger of a game and perfect for small doses now and then. If you're into it, you could get a hell of a lot more mileage out of this one. And in 14th place is the 25th Evercade console car Morphcat Games Collection 1. Guys, what can I say? I simply love this collection. There is something to enjoy in every title. Some are perfectly formed, but in doing so end up being a little shorter, like Space Gulls and Bauble, or have more depth than you first noticed, making it worth going back in a few times, like Super Bat Puncher Demo. Honestly, there's more to that game than you think. And we also have 2 very playable, sizable titles that are awesome both single and multiplayer in Micro Mages and Micro Mages Second Quest. This was such a surprising and wonderful collection to me, though it may not be for everyone. I think if you dig these styles of games, you can't go wrong. Also another collection that feels perfect on the Super Pocket, although Micro Mages are a bit teeny weeny on the screen, to be honest. And in 13th place is the 34th Evercade console car Duke Nukem Collection 2. With only 3 games in the collection, but I was surprised by all 3 if I'm honest. The PS1 games look so nice on the Evercade and move so smoothly. Think Tomb Raider, but not as refined, with lots of guns and silliness. I had so much fun with both titles. And Duke Nukem Advance was also a delight, a first-person shooter in the style of Duke Nukem 3D, but obviously more basic compared with a more simplified structure. But it's very impressive when you consider the original hardware and extremely playable, which is the main thing. And because of the systems it was created for, it looks particularly nice on the Super Pocket and EXP. On the VS, it of course looks quite pixelated, but with that still comes a certain kind of charm. I cannot fault this collection, and unless you just aren't into these types of games, I think you'd be a fool not to buy it.
Power on. Now it's time to kick some ass.
Good job, Duke. The power is restored. Now you need to find a way out of this section of the base.
I'm on it, Jane. Consider it done. I'll see you topside. Duke out.
And in 12th place is the second Evercade console cart, Namco Museum Collection 1. This cart had to be in my top 20, they both do, but do you know why they aren't in my top 10? Because they should be. It all boils down to the fact that they don't work on the VS. But don't worry, if you have the new Super Pocket, they work absolutely fine and feel like they were built for it. The downside is, if you start with a Super Pocket and upgrade to include a VS, so you can play all your carts on your telly, know that you still won't be able to play the Namco carts unless you have an EXP, as this handheld can be connected to the TV and let you play it, albeit in only 720p. I did always find it a bit weird you can't have it on the VS, but you can plug your EXP into the TV and play it that way. From Namco's point of view, what the fuck is the difference? Because buggered if I could ever work that one out. Anyway, this is here because Pac-Man, because Dig Dug, the first game I ever played, but not this version, because Battle Cars, because Galaxian, because of Zevius, is that how you pronounce it? And do you know what? Star Luster is pretty awesome, and Mappy Kids surprisingly so too. Not Mappy though, can't stand Mappy, never good for some reason. And in 11th place is the 6th Evercade console cart, Namco Museum Collection 2. Again, the only thing stopping this cart being in my top 10 is the lack of VS compatibility. But it is what it is, so how about those games? There are 11 games in this collection, and I know it's probably a bit weird me putting this above Collection 1, which are both Pac-Man and Dig Dug, but hear me out, I think overall this is a better, more varied and more interesting collection. I had never played Dig Dug 2 before and instantly adored it. We have a couple of handful of shoot 'em ups with a single screen Gallagher, 2 vertical scrolling with Dragon Spirit and a slightly bloody gorgeous Phileas, and a Mode 7 style with Burning Force, which is very Space Harrier reminiscent. But I think really the icing on the cake and the reason this gets pushed above Namco Museum Collection 1 is the inclusion of Splatterhouse Part 2 and Splatterhouse 3, We don't get many horror inspired video games on Evercade, and these are really bloody good ones. And because this and the previous cart are handheld only, they were always permanently in a pouch in my XP case, and now a permanent addition to my Super Pocket hard case. I love that case. So I end up playing them probably more than any other cart, because they are always right there. And there we have it, all the console cart rank 20 to 11. We are almost there. Well done if you've made it through all the videos until now. Only one more to go, the final top 10. If you've followed through them all, you can probably work out what the 10 carts are, but maybe not the order. So you might as well watch the last one and see. What do you think of the list so far? Do you think these carts are worthy of being in the top 20? Any you think should have been in the top 10 or discarded to the lower levels? As always, let me know. That's why we're here. And if you've made it here to the end of the episode, thanks ever so much for joining me. Leave a thumbs up or comment if you'd like. Either way, I'm just chuffed you poked your head in for a goosey gander. As always, I hope you're having the most awesomest of days, my friends. And until next time, be seeing you.